Allah, inshallah. Hello, everybody. If you recognize the reference, fair enough. If you don't, big up to all those in YouTube land. We've been away for a couple of weeks, but now we're back. Blues Brothers returns, episode 55. Let's do this. Big up all those in YouTube land. JPT and me back inside your screens for one another night. Blues Brother episode 55. JPT, my guy, how are you?
Good, much better now that I'm not sick. How are you doing today?
I'm doing alright, man. I'm doing alright. Did Chelsea ladies win earlier on? Because that's the only
Oh,
thing I need to check up on. I forgot because I know the girls got absolutely obliterated over the weekend by Barcelona. And can I just say, yeah, hats off to Barcelona. Because I know we're going to get into what happened with the men's over the weekend, but I can't not forget the ladies. And can I just say this? Barcelona ladies absolutely cooked them. And that's not easy to say, to be honest. So big up to Barcelona ladies for their 4-1 win. I hope,
screen just
well,
froze.
I can't see the girls pulling it back,
Oh,
but what's that?
uh, sorry to answer because the stream froze. I'm not sure how much it said, but yeah, the ladies won 4-0, comfortable win, and hopefully we can do everyone's favorite word for the last couple of weeks, remontada, and make a 3-goal comeback.
Yeah, it was. Well, that's going to be very, very difficult in the next game for them against Barca. Rosie says, "What's that? You Budweiser drinking mother trucker. What's that?" But
Classic.
yeah, and boy, GPT. Oh, right. I have to say, you weren't with me on that watch along at the weekend, were you? So I'm not sure how much of the game against Fulham you saw, but tell me what you saw, man, because I watched the whole thing, and I'm not being funny. First half, I really wish I had a hammer to smash my own head in. It was that bad. It really was. It was that bad.
I saw the first half and then had to get some food with a friend that was visiting. So I only kept up bits on for the second half. But when I saw the first half, it was just more draws, more just horrible movement on the ball. I think the crowd was even yelling or voicing their disappointment and frustration with just a sideways football playing back. I think I saw like some movement that we were just refusing to get out of our own our own box. We weren't even being pressured. We were just it just looks too robotic, stagnant football. It's got to go in a certain flow, or else we got to reset back, and it's just we don't progress forward as we usually do or would. Um, but yeah, no, Enzo is it's still just terrible. I mean, he got the substitutions right. I'll give him that. We got the win at the end, so praise to him on that. Now, did you want to talk about what happened at halftime, where I think that's where you got some like abuse going to the tunnel
From who?
from our fans? I'm not
Oh,
sure
good.
what was being said to him, but I think it was going to more just like your usual typical insults to get. I think it got to more personal or even racial or get
Well, I don't know
xenophobic.
about being no. You can't be racial again. But if you want to say he was a Fox's poop reject, I would definitely say that. But because that's fair, but you can't be racial towards the guy. And I'm not being funny. Unfortunately, that comes with the turf of being a manager of a big club. When you get really, really disappointed and angry fans that believe they have the right, and even though they may not, they paid their money. They're going to give you their opinions. If they can scream at you, they will. That's just unfortunately that's the way the game's been for the last 100 years plus. So that's just part and parcel. But on that first half, my God, bruv, it was exactly like the first and second half against Ipswich. Now, I didn't forget about Ipswich, by the way, because we were all over that because we didn't have because JPT was ill. We didn't have an episode last week. But how in the blue hell, Jesus Christ, mother loving turkey shit, do you get 75% possession at home, 36 shots, and you do not win the match? Let me repeat that 75% possession, 36 shots at home, and you don't win. What the fuck? Big up Dimes in the building as well, brother. Big up, how you doing, man? How you doing? Good. Subscribe to this guy. But yeah, JPG, like like the result against Ipswich, the first half against Fulham, man. Give me your takes, man, because that was hard. It's been hard to watch us recently, man. It's actually getting worse. It's actually getting worse. Big up Mo in the building.
Yeah, no, it was bad. Like, especially the way we considered that goal. Again, trying to invert James into midfield, just very stupid. Um, I'm not sure what if anyone was communicating to him that there was a man on him to, before he lost the ball, and just one pass later, uh, easy goal, and especially with the Sanchez in goal too, which whether we like it or not, and I think a lot of us don't like it, he's gonna be our number one goalkeeper for next season as well, as long as Enzo and the Sporting Directors are here. So yeah, it's just gonna be more of the same BS going forward. But as far as for the just specifically for the first half, yeah, it was just bad, no urgency. We were looking like we were, especially going to goal down. I think was it like 12 minutes into the game. Uh, you know, we were looking at the first ever. Yeah, I think would have been Fulham's first ever double in their history on over Chelsea. I mean, they beat us at home for the first time since '79. Um, you know, in the first half of the season. Yeah, it was really surprising to see that it was just lacking any type of urgency, looking toothless up front. And yeah, it doesn't matter if we want to keep playing possession football. That's just what we're gonna get. We're gonna have the ball but do nothing with it, and then the opposition will get one or two chances on goal. They'll bag one of those at least. Well, we'll like as mentioned, 36 shots, did fuck all with it.
Because what concerns me is right. What concerns me is right. Well, Enzo's a kind of guy, right? I'm beginning to think now in games he gets things wrong, and it's just whether he can correct it at half time or not. Because if you look at Chelsea, how we've started in first half throughout the whole season, right? I could argue that we're probably the best second half team, but the worst first half team. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Because right, you think about it, right? How many times in first halves as well we've conceded winning positions as well? Because how many times has it been we've been 1-0 up and then they scored 2 goals and then it's been us trying and trying and trying and trying and trying and trying to score a second?
Hmm.
Because that's another interesting I find about the amount. Because that's one thing that does amaze me about Enzo and Mascarella. Like, this guy, right? I don't know how many times. If someone can check it up for me, right? I don't know how many times from actual winning positions this guy's dropped or lost points completely, but I'm pretty sure it's over 13 now.
I mean, where do we lose points? So we lost on Villa as the most one that sticks out to mind. Um,
I mean,
were we? No, we were never up on Ipswich when we went to their grounds.
no, pretty well.
Uh, no, we
Big
got
up,
to
man.
come back for the one back at home. And I mean, it's just a lot because it's weird with Chelsea because we will score in the first 10 and then look like shit for the rest of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Or we can do is what we like versus Spurs, where we'll give up 2 goals in 12 minutes and find a way to come back. But then
Back,
again,
yeah, yeah.
that's Spurs, where if it wasn't, if they were just one place lower, they're looking at relegation. And it's a mixed bag, but it's all the same like just different types of shit. The same toilet, It's
Mm-hmm.
it's we really needed to address what was going with this play style with really forcing Spurs to play from the back and trying to build something going up in attack. And I said like we look toothless up front. Like we clearly we generate chances in attack, but we just don't have anyone to like have that killer instinct to find the net. Yeah, but that was Palmer last season and the first half of this season. Jackson is I don't know what happened to him, but he started off really well, projected to get at least 20 goals, and now I don't even know how long it's been since he's last scored.
Mm-hmm.
Sancho, when he's finally got confidence, or I guess goes against what Enzo says, but when he has a shot at goal, he'll make it count. Same thing with Neto. I mean, with I heard he had a bad game overall, but got the game winner. So props to him for
I,
that.
I don't think he had a bad game per se. I think the problem was a lot of people will make the criticism of when they finally did get the ball to him, he'd try and beat somebody, he'd beat somebody, then when he goes into space, there's no one there to support him or back him up. Because
There,
it's a symptom of the same problem with Jaden Sancho on the left as well. When he plays, when he get beats people and he gets it, it's actually interesting how many times we get cutbacks and they end up going to nobody. Have you noticed that?
mhm. Yep.
Because we do that a lot. We get a lot of positions where that they get to where they need to be, but Jackson's not the kind of guy that's waiting across the 6 yard box for a tap in. I tell you what, one thing that sums Jackson up. I don't know if you guys noticed this when you. I think it was on Sunday when we were counting on Fulham, and he made a run,
One.
and he was literally just after they scored, and he was trying to equalise almost straight away, and he just missed that chance with his foot, and he swung it across, and if he would have got it, it would have gone in, but he missed. Did
Hmm.
anyone see that chance? And it was
Was
just
that the
like this
same?
kind of. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say, was that the same one where like he was complaining to the ref that he was dragged down or he's
Yeah,
held
yeah,
back?
yeah. When he tried to get, yeah,
Yeah,
that's the one in the first
that
half.
was.
That's the one.
Oh
That's the
my
one.
god.
Right. That
Never,
as a
never saw.
situation typifies what Jackson's about all about. He's close, but he's not that. You know what I mean? Like, big up, JK. I hope you're doing well, my brother. Big up, guys. I'll be on soon. All right, brother. Harder to miss. It was
Yeah.
Stepsy, but it's one of those ones. Oh, dude, man! Did anyone see what Bruno Fernandez did across the weekend when he had that Man United did that move and they passed it into him and he completely miskicked it and he went towards the corner flag? I was just like, they're professionals, man. Cue the full Monty music. I'm gone. All right, fair enough. Well, it was terrible. It was terrible. But yeah, but it's kind of what we've always been expecting. It's kind of what we've all been seeing over the course of the season, and like it's not really a surprise. So we could do player ratings, but I wouldn't really necessarily want to waste everybody's time doing player ratings because I couldn't imagine a rating higher than about 6 or 7. So
Can't be bothered
I'm
with
not
that.
really going to go into that. But you touched on what happened with Neto. I do think I felt sorry for that guy because when he did get the chance in the box to shoot properly, because he had one good chance a little while before that, but didn't get a chance to like hit it cleanly.
Hmm.
And like when he did get his chance, the one he did take, it was a beautiful finish. But can I just say right now, big up Tyreek George. The young we've been screaming for this guy to be getting minutes in the Premier League for a long time now, and hopefully Enzo won't cut off his nose to spite his face. Because let's be honest, when he came on, he was one of our best players. He was going at them. He was being a lot more direct. He was being more well, what can I say? Hard to predict, if you know what I mean. He was hard to predict because he was drifting inside the middle as well because he would go out to the right, come inside, and that's where he got his goal, wasn't he? Because he was sitting in the bit. And it's funny how Neto and Tyreek George almost scored their goals from the same position. It's almost like in the middle of the D. So like, it's like what was it they
Right.
said about we don't score from outside the box, JPT?
Right. And I was surprised, and I wasn't sure if Nets was just barely inside the box or just a little out, but I was more surprised that Tyreek George goals went in because I thought that would have been an easy save for Leno. But I mean, luckily the goal went in. But if it wasn't for look, I'll say this recently, and yeah, it might be against Warsaw. But lately our best goal threat in our power forwards has been George, and if not him, it's Cucurella. And I think that that's just says quite
Yeah,
a bit there.
that sums up our 2025 so far, folks. That the fact of our top goal scorer in 2025 is Cucurella.
Satchel
Deep that
Bob,
brilliant. The
Satchel
sideshow
Bob's in the
Bob.
circus.
No, he's main show Bob at the moment. He's not sideshow Bob. He's main show Bob. Because if he's our top goal scorer, he's not a side man. No, not at the moment.
I know it's just it goes to show that what we need addressed in the summer, and and I don't want to be look. I mean, and props to the young players that are coming to the club, like Willian. Who else is coming? Santos is finally gonna be back, but he's gonna be more in the midfield. Hopefully, he's not sold, and I think we have another winger coming back. I'm not sure, but um. some players joining, and I think now we're supposedly
Look
we're
at that,
leading the race
JPT.
for
Even
center back.
Stepsy's disgusted, bro. Even Stepsy's disgusted.
Mm,
Drink that in.
drink it in, drink it in, man.
Yeah, sorry, JPT. You were saying.
I don't know, and then now we're just leading the race for the center back from Bournemouth, Dean Huijsen. I can never pronounce his last name. Um, but yeah, it's great that we're rumored with these good people, but where's the rumors with Osimhen? Where's it with Gyökeres? I
We're
mean,
never gonna get Osherman, bro. We blew that one.
I know that, but I'm saying, but anyone to help up front because right now we do need help. We're gonna
You
rely
know what?
on
I know.
Santos. Hmm.
You know who we need. I reckon we should buy, and he's within these morons kind of like player range. Get Stan Larson from Wolves.
Yeah, yeah.
That guy, Fred, he is a beast when it comes to like battling centre backs on his own, bro. And believe me, he is a headache for anyone. I like that guy a lot, and he's been getting a lot of goals as well, man. There's Mateta as well. If you want that, so he scored again today, didn't he, against Arsenal? So
Hmm.
you know, what I mean that there's strikers around now that we can buy. That don't necessarily have to be on the wages of an Osherman or a like a good careers. You know what I mean? Like there are ability. Well, there's options around. There's people with ability around. Yeah, I agree with you there. Larson is a baller. I think because of his physical presence and the fact of he can do it and he doesn't like he struggles at it. You know what I mean? He's got that bastardry in him, like Diego Costa. You know what I mean? That Diego, he revels in it. You know what I mean? The chipped Raya when he was in 20 goals at 20 yards out. Yeah, that's true. He did. You know what it is, right? Because if they really are going to do this Project Youth thing, you know what I mean? Like, do the project which, like, get players that will actually be different to what we have. So, like, I do think, because I'm not being funny, as much as we all sit there and say the sporting directors need to go, they've got 40% right, 60% wrong. Because no offense, if they would have been able to get a striker at the beginning of the season, like we needed, as JPG just said, that would have been a lot of our problems solved right then. Because if we actually had a killer up front, teams would be a lot more scared of the amount of chances that we create and we could put away. Which also goes into JPT what said, because wasn't it last year we had the most clear cut created chances with like the most missed opportunities or something like that? I can't remember. It was some crazy stat I couldn't believe we had. We had like 35, 40, 36 chances, like all absolutely clear cut. They were just like nowhere near getting scored. It was kind of embarrassing.
That was
But
my biggest complaint with Sterling and Jackson last season. That it's not about the number of chances we misses, but the number of clear cut chances, and it's embarrassing to have
mhm.
professionals miss like that. That's Sunday league stuff.
Well, that's what we used
Um,
to get on the Kai Havertz's back about, isn't it? This guy used to, and I'm sure Arsenal fans can relate when it comes to their suffering with Kai Havertz, because yes, Kai Havertz has his uses, but it's just that it's just that ability where they Jackson's got it in him as well. I'm not going to just this is not a dig at the Kai Havertz because Jackson's got him in as well. Like I've never seen anyone get a header from 2 yards outside the goal and still hit the post. That's what Kai Havertz and Jackson can do. You know what I mean? Because didn't Jackson hit the post as well? Who was it that hit the post on Sunday? Someone hit
um,
the post.
it
I swear it was Jackson.
wasn't if it wasn't Jackson, I would say Neto or
Yeah,
somebody.
it could have been. I think Neto had a set shot set. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, we have to talk about as it happened. Q second half. We woke up. We started to get into their faces. We started to press them a bit better. Went more direct as like with Tyreek George and Neto because Augusto came on for I think Reece James because he changed it up like a bit when we came out second half. Now JPT, I want to ask you this before we get into the second half itself. Yeah, do you think with the amount of times this guy's had to change up his strategies at half time, this is a guy that actually has a plan, or he's just go winging it?
I think for the first set he goes winging it because I don't see what his plan was. In a lot of the lineups he even makes. But then second half he'll get them addressed, which I'm glad that he does it at halftime because there've been times where we wait until the 80th, 85th minute, and that's where just like he doesn't have a fucking clue. And yeah, no, I think it's just we need a more how would I say I'm more prepared, or I don't want to avoid using the word elite manager, But just a manager that just knows what it takes to win, how to set up this team. Of course, I want to say Tuchel, but that's not going to happen.
No, Tuchel's elite for me.
No, but he's not going to come. He's not going to leave England. I
And
mean,
Carlo Ancelotti, bruv, he might be getting
Carlo.
sacked by Real Madrid. Hey, bro, why not?
That's what I'm
Tempt him.
saying. He's going to be gone after the Copa del Rey final. But that's the thing. These owners are going to have their sporting directors avoid Carlo Ancelotti because he's not a yes man. They want a yes manager, and that it's not going to be Carlo at all. And either way, if Brazil comes calling, he's going to go there instead. He wants to be surrounded by BBLs, bro. You think he's going to want to come to Chelsea, London?
He went
He wants to go to Samba lands.
to
He's
Big
not going
B.
to want
Does that sound for big booty Latinos by any chance?
the Brazilian butlers everywhere around him. Just you see the crowds when it comes to the World Cup. That's why I'm excited for the World Cup coming here, man. I'm gonna go try to every Brazil
What
game.
are you trying to say? Are you trying to say Carlo will get so excited that both eyebrows will raise? Yeah, both will be up all the time.
He's gonna have a
Uh,
stogie on one hand and then just a big booty Brazilian Latina on the other. He's gonna be in paradise. I
if
mean,
it's good enough for Sven, it's good enough for me. Oh no, sorry, excuse me, no. I apologize. God bless his soul, man. But Sven used to like Swedes because Eureka Johnson, innit? Oh dear. These yes men need to be faded out, says Stepsy. I'll leave Madrid for the samba dancers. Well, you have to be in Madrid to leave it, DJ Kane. So, you know, I'm not being funny. No offense. One thing I will say about it is with Madrid, I'm not being funny. He's left there and gone back. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened at least one more time. Stepsy goes, Eureka, car. Yeah, shooting stars, man. I used to love that program. What from the crew from below? But anyway, on to that second half. What's your thoughts of the second half? Like spirited comeback or lucky escape?
we played better in the second half, so I'll say it's a mix of both. And yeah, no, we just did just enough to get the 3 points. At this point, I'd rather we win ugly, get 3 points, than try to play pretty and lose horribly. Because I mean, it's just embarrassing that even though Fulham did not get another single shot on target since the goal, it was enough to put Chelsea away in any other day. But because Tyreek George, I would say, in my opinion, I think the goal was a bit lucky because that looked like it was savable by Leno, and then just a hell of a shot and from Neto, which maybe I'm crazy to say it's Drogba-esque type of shot.
No, it
But
was hit really hard. Yeah, it was.
hit really
It had
hard on
venom
the
in it.
turn.
He meant it. Yeah, he meant. And to be honest, actually, that you know who that reminded me more of actually Lampard's against Munich when he controls it and shoots.
Yep.
Because that was more like because the way he hooks it off his foot and he just bang it was a really good goal. It's just it's a shame it was tampered by an absolutely dreadful performance. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, regardless of how spectacular this comeback was, and Tyreek George led the line and all that, I'm not being funny, bro. I'm beginning to think that Enzo Mascarello, no matter what team he puts out, he'll always just put the wrong team out. Do you know what I mean? He's just got that knack of because again, even if somehow, and I will ask in a minute about Champions League football, but even if somehow we did make it somehow, does anyone want to go through another season of what we just watched? I don't. I'd rather hit the reset button with a new manager or whatever. Bro, man. And you've been on watch alongs with me, JPT. It's not easy to watch. It's not easy to watch. I don't think I'd rather watch Poch than this. I really would. And no one can tell me right now that this time last season, Poch hadn't done better because he had now, and it's technically proven. The only hope he's got is the Europa League because right now we're sitting in sixth. So there's been no progress whatsoever at this point. We got knocked out in the two cup finals. Cups we were in very early before we got to the final. Last year we did get to a final. We've still got the Europa League to save him, but
Hmm.
yeah, was hit like Astrid. Yeah, why? Okay, but yeah. Do you really think that there is a genuine hope? Because we got Newcastle, JPT, we got Everton, We got Man United, we got Liverpool, and we got Forest.
Um, the Forest one, which was looking like that was gonna be a free hit. Again, shout out to Asher to thanks to DJ Crane. But no,
Mhm.
now because they've dropped down, they're gonna have to actually try in that one at their last game at home. Um, we're gonna have to hope that Liverpool sends out their B C team, which I doubt because they're gonna want to play with pride. Um, because they can lock up the league with a draw versus Spurs at Anfield. So hopefully they're too hungover to give a shit about playing against Chelsea. I think it's at our ground by then. Um,
Yeah, it is. It is.
and then so hopefully that's just a game that we'll win. Because they couldn't care. Newcastle's going to be a headache at St. James. Everton at Goodison. No, it's at our ground. My
What's
fault.
that our ground?
It's at our ground. Yeah.
Yeah, still Astrid Wet. A
Uh,
dinosaur.
Everton is a weird one because you never know what you're going to get with them because they can show up and grab a point. Um,
Or three, like they did at the weekend. Because I'm not being funny. I'll be real. I don't think any Chelsea fan we went 1-0 down thought we were going to come back.
nope, no,
Not one.
and
Because we have been that bad.
especially you know what gets me with every time with Enzo's lineup is the center back pairing or just the back line in general. Because I mean, luckily he had Reece James I think starting in this one, but then something happened to Gusto. I'm not sure if he started or not.
Now you
Uh,
come on.
he came on, but then had to be subbed off because he got injured.
I don't know. You might have done. I didn't notice that, to be honest.
I don't know. Diaz was the one that was telling me about Malo Gusto is now injured. So who knows? Again, another defender that's out injured and might not see the light of day again.
Oh,
Um,
wait. On him, right? Do you think, right? Under what we saw from Gusto from last season to this one, right? Like I asked in my little poll, by the way, at the beginning of the stream, like, do I think is what's happening to Cole Palmer right now as much Enzo's fault? Can we lay some of that blame on him for Gusto as well for changing how what we saw from last season? Because he was our player of the season last season, right? Very like within the club, you know what I mean? Like Gusto, we didn't miss Reece James for a little while, you
that's what I
know.
was gonna say because you did a good job if you can make the fan base say, you know what, we can go with that Reece James this season. There have been
Right?
times when Reece James came in later in the second part of the season, we're like, well, just have Gusto play out, like just let him play. Why are we risking Reece James, and then also why are we risking another red card plus an injury? It didn't
Mm-hmm.
make any sense. And now you're looking at Malo Gusto and Enzo's eyes. He's a 10. Not saying he's 10 out
Mm.
of 10. He's tries to play them as a fucking attacking midfielder, and then he's trying to invert James into a midfielder as well. Saying, "Oh, I seen Reece James, at Wigan. He can play midfield. This guy is blind. He has less vision than he has hair follicles. This man is killing us." And I'm not. And that's the thing though. And if we say anything positive about Poch, guess what? We're not proper Chelsea fans. My whole bit is that there was no point of sacking Poch because even though he started terrible last season, we were was it progressing, going on the
Yeah,
up.
we were. We all
We
got
were
at least we were
improving.
on the up and up.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we were on. I keep wanting to say the incline, but I don't think that's the right word. But it's while with Enzo, it's just been going downhill. We started off very strong. We started off. We're second. We were. I think we had the biggest goal difference, like, maybe besides Liverpool. Now we're barely even flirting with six. Still, I don't think we're gonna get Champions League football, and I think that might be for the better because can you imagine this team with more kids in this summer going against the likes of a Madrid, a Barca, a Bayern, an Inter, what is it, Napoli, PSG? We'll get embarrassed. We're gonna wish that we were in the Europa League.
Well, that's what my point was, that and always was, because I was on a stream with Tony over the weekend as well, and he said to me, Simon, like,
Yeah,
so most of the Chelsea fans that I spoke to, like, want Champions League football and to win Europa League. And I said to Tony, honestly, yeah, regardless of what Chelsea fans say, in your eyes, if this was your football team, would you want him in the Champions League against some of the teams that are in it? And he had to admit, no, you wouldn't,
yeah,
because
trip.
they would get smashed. Yeah, big up Trip Vic, big up brother. I'll be doing what. You wouldn't want them there, would you? Because they'd be absolutely hammered. I would not like when you look at what Sporting did to say Man City last year when they beat them 5-0 in
Yep.
their ground. Do you remember that?
Pep couldn't beat Ruben's Sporting.
Well, that's what I mean. But when they played them at Sporting, they absolutely annihilated them. Like, you know what I mean? You want to see that kind of performance happen to Chelsea? No, thank you. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not being funny. That's just tip of the iceberg. Let's just say, right, you want to do it for just being competitive. Say if we don't make it, because even if we do get Champions League, we'll probably have to qualify for it as well. In terms of like the extra spot is probably a qualification spot. I don't think it's automatic. So even say we don't make it out of say we don't make it out of the group stage, then what? Or sorry, the league phase now. Because the last time we were in the Champions League, it wasn't a league phase. It was a group stage, but now it's the league phase. So in the European Super League phase, what would happen? You know, what I mean, if we don't make it,
Exactly.
Enzo is what you call the Viagra effect. First, what goes up must come down, eh? Sorry, JP.
We're on Blue Chews now, man. That's a 1900s thing, as the kids would say.
Yeah, something like that.
But
Same year our club was founded, you know what I mean? Yeah, but yeah. So, like, what would be the narrative then, JPT? Like, from these, as Tony referred to as these other Chelsea fans, if we went there and we got completely embarrassed and dunked out in the league phase, what do you think the reaction would be?
They would blame Maresca when it's a higher issue, but they just want Maresca out because I'm not sure if that's just a coping thing because realistically they'll more likely get rid of Maresca than they are to get rid of the sporting directors. They should do both, in my opinion, but it's not going to happen. As well as you also got to take consideration because I know same thing what I said about Poch. I don't think we should sack him because I do not trust these sporting directors to make the right replacement call. Because like I said, they're either gonna get another manager who's not gonna be an improvement or actually gonna be worse off. Because now I'm seeing people are wanting what's the I think it's a Strasbourg manager's name, Resignor. It starts with an R. I can't remember who it is, but either way, if we do that, that's going to cause even more problems with the Strasbourg fans who are already pissed off at us. And even though they're looking at Champions League football themselves, they want us away from their club, which I completely understand. Because once things get good over there, we're going to take everything that we're pretty much going to exploit them. We're going to do what England did to India. We're just going to take everything they can and then just leave them with nothing. And it's gonna be hell at the end of it. But my thing is, we get Champions League, we get the Jordan deal. Maybe if I was Jordan, I wouldn't even touch this club. And we get more money in that way with the Champions League. What is it? Qualification money plus the Jordan deal plus I think a sponsor at the end. So financially beneficial. Sport wise, we're gonna get dunked on every single game in the league phase.
Well, to be honest, when you think about it, when you look at how, and let's be honest, yeah, and just remember, we've just lost to Europa League conference team at home. I don't think I forgot that as well. Last week we lost that to Lecce at home.
But
you know what I mean?
we qualified. We're okay. It's okay. Who cares if we lost? It's gonna be, bro. I feel like that was worse than when we lost to Servette.
Now, Rosie, steady on some of my bloodline are English. Like steady on you can't say that.
She means the language.
Yeah, exactly. Blimey, Luke is with us. Greetings, Earthlings, JPT and Wolfie. Hi, Wolfie. Hello, chatty people. Well, greetings. This is Wolfie calling Orson. Come in, Orson. Wolfie calling Orson. Come in, Orson. Oh, it's Budgie as I call her. Big up, brother. Long time no see, says Rosie. Hope you're well. God bless, mate. Hope you're doing good. Remember to sub to the Green Streets Elites and the other West Ham boys as well. Call them Hammers Fan TV. all the other people over there, the good people of the Hammers Network as well. Don't forget all that beautiful stuff. But yeah, sorry, I was distracted by the alien in the chat. My bad. Sorry about that. Yeah, so yeah, all these teams that we could get potentially embarrassed by. You talk about the Madrids, the Atleticos, you know, the Barcelonas, the Milans, Inter, you know, even some of the Portuguese teams are no joke, like the Sportings, Porto on their day are a headache, Benfica on their day can be a headache because they like to counter. I personally, with how badly we've handled this season, I can only see with the same sort of like range of ability of squad, because I can only see this getting worse, to be honest.
Yep. Yeah. And honestly,
So
with yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, so honestly, I know people may hate me for saying this, but I'm more maybe going to the Europa League. I spend a
Hmm.
bit more time learning and spend a bit more time building first. You know what I mean? Because it's like, because to be honest, when it comes to a football team nowadays, it's like it's sailing a ship. Yes, you could launch now, and maybe she won't be as efficient. But maybe if you just take that little bit more time preparing it, maybe when it does come to the crunch, you can like she'll weather it better, so to speak. So, oh, hang on, we got to get big up JK in the building.
Big up,
JK
JK.
Big ups,
JK
guys.
47. No, that's okay. Big up, brother.
Yo, big ups.
How you doing,
How's
man?
everyone?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
good.
we're all good, man.
What's your feeling at the minute, JK? Like, give me your feeling what you saw at Fulham on Sunday.
We won the game. Yeah, is what it is. But if I'm gonna be honest with you, I think this is more of a thing where we have to go into these last 5 games. You know what? It's only the result now. I don't even care how we play at this point. Do you know what I'm saying? Just get the 3 points. That's what matters. Whether we will is another thing, but I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? You guys know my stance on the manager. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't believe in this manager, and you know my reasons. But anyways, yeah, that's just my opinion on that. But yeah, yeah, it was a good win, I guess. I actually predicted to lose that game, funny enough. Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, glad that I'm glad that they're just proving me wrong right now. Not obviously, I need to see more. Do you know what I'm saying? Consistency is key
Mm-hmm.
at this point. But yeah, on to the next game, I guess.
On to the
Is
next.
what is.
How much more like Arsenal can we sound, eh? On to the next.
No, when we start talking
I
about fish
mean,
fry.
the games haven't stopped. I can't stop football.
Right. Well,
Mm,
I'll ask you, JK, what I just asked JPT. Right. Given
mm.
the games we have left with Everton, Liverpool, Newcastle, Forest, and United, can we make Champions League football? And if we do, would it actually be any good for us?
Um, no. The reason I say this is because firstly, you need to take into account that I feel like how should I just say this without repeating myself first and foremost? You know what I'm saying? Because I don't like to say the same things each week. Do you know what I'm saying? It's this sort of thing I'm trying to get out of. But what
You
I'm gonna
said that
say,
last week. No, I'm joking.
okay, I will say this. What I want to say, this is not me dismissing the board owners, this, that, and the other. But I don't feel we'll get there because of Maresca. Because in my opinion, I feel like this football that he's trying to play is just, it's not gonna work. It really isn't gonna work. Do you get what I'm saying? I saw games. I saw the first half against Fulham. Although we won, we did not play well at all. Let's be honest. He needed Tyreek George to come off the bench and score, which I thought, you know what, that was embarrassing. But at the same time, yeah, we'll take the win. Do you know what I'm saying? But the thing is this: we can't keep persisting with this football. Do you know what I'm saying? We just need to go back to the basics. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want us to invert Reece James. This is the thing: when we're inverting Reece James, and my problem is this. When I see other people, when I see other fans, I think I've been speaking to you guys about this privately. When I see other fans trying to dismiss what Maresca's doing, do you know what I'm saying? I remember people said against Fulham, we won the game because of Maresca, because he brought on Tyreek George. No, no, it was not because of Maresca. The players clearly coached themselves. Do you know what I'm saying? In a sense of first Neto was coming inside more instead of hugging the touchline. We were not inverting towards the late minutes. Gusto was overlapping. They were
Yes, he
not
was.
listening to what the manager's instructions. Let's be honest.
Yes,
To
he
get the
was.
win. Do you know what I'm saying? This was coached from themselves. They coached that win. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's more the manager. The way we start games, disgusting. First half. Do you know what I'm saying? Um, that's my problem. And if you go against Liverpool with the first half you had against Fulham, I'm telling you, you would have been scoring. You would have at least listen. They would be scoring at least 2 goals. Do you know what I'm saying? People
Hmm.
say Man United's easy, but at the end of the day, Man United on their day, they can turn up to the big games. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, we
And
don't, and we're
and we do
predominantly
not
bad in big
exactly.
games.
And
The
then
phone
we're
goes
Yeah,
off
we
the
like,
exactly.
window.
I'm not good at the big games because there's a certain. I don't know what it is, but I don't know if you've realized most of the teams that don't have a good season are only good at the big games, but the ones that are fighting for top four aren't. I'll give you for example. Last season we were okay at the big six games records were okay. Do you know what I'm saying? People say,
hmm
listen, whenever Chelsea play a big game, remember last season on the Poch, we'll play a big team, and you know what, we'll get a good draw. You know what I'm saying? People would always come out, oh, we should have won that game. Do you know what I'm saying?
hmm
But then it
Arsenal
was just
game,
these
the Man
teams,
United game,
yeah.
we did win. Yep.
It was just these teams mid-table which we couldn't cut. We just couldn't. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And we will get these stupid draws against Burnley, Sheffield United. Do you know what I'm saying? And then that's what got us six. But right now, our problem is the big games. Do you know what I'm saying? And not even the big games alone. The top six teams, the teams in the top six, if I should say, we could even beat Forest. We could even beat Forest with 10 men. That's another one.
Yeah, we
Remember
lost at home
the
to
home
them
game,
last season. We lost
huh?
at home to them. Do you remember we lost at home to them last season as well?
Exactly.
Hmm.
We lost to them, and they were fighting relegation. Do you get what I'm saying? And who else? Who else did we lose to in the top 10?
Villa,
Okay, Liverpool.
Villa, we lost to Villa.
We
This
lost to
season or
Villa.
last
Exactly,
season?
Villa away. Do you know what I'm saying? Newcastle. We barely win at St James's Park. I know we beat them at Stamford Bridge, but we barely win there. It's gonna be a tough task. Do you know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
we
And they
lost
have
to Ipswich.
and we lost to Ipswich as well. You know what I'm saying? Look at the way you see all of these teams. Do you know what I'm saying? We should not be dropping points to Ipswich.
Wait, didn't
Despite of the
Luton beat us?
Fulham,
No, oh no, I thought
huh?
Luton beat us last
No,
season, but
no.
they didn't. Mhm.
Despite of
Almost
the
did.
Fulham win, I'm still disappointed that we could not beat Ipswich. Who did we play before that? We played flipping Brentford. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Again, what did I tell you? With the Brentford game, Maresca decides to choose such a stupid lineup. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
What?
Patience in
Listen,
midfield.
you have to be drinking some sort of tequila. You know what I'm saying? To wake up in the morning and putting Kunku up front. Do you know what I'm saying? Who else? Who did put Juice Brewer in the 10? And you're
He
telling
keeps
me this
trying
is
to
not
tell me,
management.
he's changing
Exactly.
midfield.
And let me tell you this, Wolfie. The
Trevor
fans,
Chalobah at right
the
back.
fans that are trying to sugarcoat this manager, the reason why they're doing it is because the things we just explained. The reason why, I'm not going to call any names, it's because of the things we've explained. They just want to be right about Poch. I do not care what anybody says. If Maresca does not get top four, he's had a worse season than Poch. He's had a worse. I don't care what anybody's saying, and he's having a worse season than Poch. This is not anyone saying or bring him back. This that, and the other, because I think that's what people are trying to interpret
And wait,
into that
you know
sort of
what makes me laugh?
context.
And you know what makes me laugh? The only thing they can bring in is if they say, "Oh yeah, but if Maresca wins the Europa League conference, because you know, at the end of it, then they'll say he did better than Poch." But I would have to turn around and say, "But the only reason why he was in it was because of Poch."
And that's the
So,
thing. Do you get
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah, I
But
do.
my problem is the thing is this: people need to actually, when we say that it's Mariska's fault, I don't want people to be so level-headed in the sense of, oh, that means you're not blaming the board. That means you're not blaming the owners. I'm sorry, that does not mean nothing. We know that the board is the problem. We know that the owners are the problem. How many times do
Hmm.
we have to keep talking every week about on them? Do you know what I'm saying? We know. Do you know what I'm saying? But then the problem is this: why is the Maresca not getting spoken on enough? And he was the one before he joined this club. He was like, "Oh, I've been watching Chelsea. I know all these players' profiles. Okay, but then you want to invert Reece James. Has Reece James ever been an inverted fullback? No. Do you know what I'm saying? Gusto's never been an inverted fullback. Both of those right backs are both overlapping. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then who else? Where else is he talking? Then you look at the wingers. The wingers have been poor, but these are all down. Again, management issue. Do you know what I'm saying? Because first and foremost, these are not wingers that are not supposed to be doing two jobs respectfully. Do you know what I'm saying? You're asking them to hug the touchline, stay out wide, but then also recover for the right back that you invert. Do you know what I'm saying? That's not an
Mhm.
inverted. So make it make sense. It doesn't make sense. I know I've been frustrated with the wingers, but I can't really get angry at them. Sancho, Neto, in my opinion, I just think they're misprofiled. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Also, Kopama as well. Man, he's been poor. He's been very poor.
He's not a
Do you know what
creator,
I'm saying? I
man.
don't know what's happened to him.
Enzo Maresca happened to him, bro. Enzo
Probably.
Hutch,
Do you
Maresca
know what I'm
happened.
saying? But
Hutch
at
got
the
the better
same
out of
time,
him and Malo Gusto.
exactly, because we need to understand,
Oh,
and this is what I'm
DJ
trying to
Green,
say.
I agree,
Palmer,
bro, but we got to win him first.
yeah, exactly. The thing is, yeah, Palmer's supposed to be a free roaming 10, or he's supposed to roam. He's not a player that you give instruction to most of the time. Although people say, "Oh, I'm sounding toxic," all players should be following instructions. Well, I don't care.
Drink the
Some players
Kool-Aid,
are just
pretty much
better
what they say.
without it. Do
Yeah,
you know what I'm
here's an
saying? Ask
instruction.
your
Go
legends that
play.
you like.
Go
Ask
play
Eden
football.
Hazard. Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. That's an instruction in itself. Go play, bro.
Exactly. Go and play. This is how you've seen good footballers because of this tactical pep
You know,
nonsense
you've just
crap.
touched on a
You know what I'm
sick
saying?
point. Right, hang on. I'm going to come back to what I say. I don't mean to interrupt you, but I will say this. I'm
Yeah,
going to
go
let you
on, go
finish.
on.
But no. But the one thing, yeah. Right. Let me, in summary, and I'll go back into it in a little while. But in summary, this is why I am very much against Enzo Maresca. Because from the minute you're actually telling your footballers to stop playing, you're an idiot.
Exactly that. And the fact that the players exactly, and also the mentality also needs to be spoken about enough. I've realized most of us we just skip that topic a lot. I
Oh,
was
I
watching
agree.
Sky
Man.
Sports. Remember Carragher? I think they were analyzing the
Oh
Ipswich game.
God.
Yeah, and I know, right? They were analysing the Ipswich game. Of course, they spoke about Chalobah playing right back and what so this, that, and the other, how he's struggling. But then he also mentioned the atmosphere of the crowd. The thing is, I'll say this and I'll say this very well. The crowd have every right to boo. I do not
Hmm.
care what anybody says. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're a professional footballer, you know these are gonna happen. Most of these players now were kids booing their own players. Do you know what I'm saying? When they weren't doing anything. Do you know what I'm saying? They probably would have done that as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So like the problem is this: the maturity level, the mentality is not good. The fact that you would listen to the crowd, the fact the crowd makes you play a certain way because the
Hmm.
crowd told you, is an embarrassment to me. I don't know what it is. Of course, crowd have their opinions, but then the thing is, for them to actually, I don't know the words, but for them to actually
Like
get to
influence.
them so badly, do you know what I'm saying? Get to their heads, do you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? To get so intimidated by the crowd and not using that within the strength to improve, do you know what I'm saying? Is kind of
Mm.
worrying to me. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're
Um,
asking them to be resilient. That's what you're asking.
they need to be
Resilient.
resilient. Exactly. The lack of resilience. Thank you for the word. You know what I'm saying? They're not. They like just. No man, this is the problem. Like there's so many things wrong with this club. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
if I'm gonna be honest with you, Maresca was talking about, oh, we went long because the crowd were booing. I'm sorry, who's the manager here? Is the
Hmm.
crowd are the crowds your managers? No. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
If that was the way, if you wanted to build from the back, build from the back. Because I'm sorry, that kick led to a goal. Do you know what I'm saying?
Reece
It
James
shows,
gets caught sleeping against Fulham, bruv. He just got barged off the
and
ball, bruv.
exactly, and then what's it called? Reece James lost the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? On the transition goal for Iwobi's goal, I genuinely think that goal should
Big
is a
up, buddy.
savable goal.
Big up.
I don't care what anyone says, but that goal should have been saved. That was
Yeah,
such a
that
weak
goal should never
shot.
happen, bruv. That goal should
Yeah,
never
The opportunity
happen.
should never
it
been
should have
given.
never
Yeah.
happened. This is the story of our season. We concede goals. We concede stupid
That
goals.
chance,
Whether
that
it's
gift
from
that
our
we always
errors,
say we
this,
give
that, and the other,
JBB.
whether it's from our errors and so on, is unacceptable, man. And this is the thing: when you play better teams, you know they're gonna punish you. We've
Hmm.
got Everton next. Well, I don't know about that. We'll have to see. Good thing is at home because they don't really win at home at our ground that much. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. But then you got Liverpool, Newcastle. Do you know what I'm saying? United, I think we can beat them. I think we can. Keyword can. Does not mean that does not mean we will. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they're kind of not they're not great either. Do you know what I'm saying? But
Mm.
the records just don't back us, you can say. But yeah, but I can't lie to you, then you got Forest away. But yeah, what are these games? But when you asked about the top six and games and we have should we get top four? I don't think so because of these reasons I've explained, respectfully, yeah.
Yeah, cool. No, you've been totally respectful all the way through, bro, as you
Yeah,
always are. Big up for that, and there was a good detailed answer. But yeah, I fully agree with you, man. And what you were saying about the mentality, I fully agree with, because you said about a little while back that I don't think it's touched on enough, and I agree with you. It's not touched on enough in terms of where does the mentality come from the players in terms of where's their hunger, where's their desire. You know what I mean? Like, why ain't they motivated as professional footballers to want to do better? And the thing is, the only answer I can give to that is maybe it's the old saying of you got a bad workman who blames his tools. You know what I
yeah,
mean by
that
that?
I agree.
A bad workman
I get
blames
what you're
his tools.
saying.
And the thing is, with him, and this is the thing that frustrates me about Enzo Maresca is, like you said about the wingers having to do the wing back role without being a wing back. We've always, all of us have always said in our own way, you, me, Prime, JPT deals. We're built more for five at the back
Yep.
with the
Exactly.
players that we had, and the reason why we've been built for five at the back is because Tuchel and the other manager that knew he was doing, Conte, that was the last one in charge, both knew that because of the way Chelsea the midfield work, right, you have to give that extra defensive firmness, reassurance, whatever you want to call it,
Re-
solidity, whatever you want to
it
call it,
was
behind them.
reassurance and cover for the midfield.
You know,
That's why it was there.
because just like what you've just said, that's one of the main reasons why we get exposed in the transition so much is because the spaces that you're referring to in a five system would have a winger there 9 times out of 10 with a wing back. So when one pushes forward to attack, the other one's still there to recover their space as well.
Exactly.
In the,
Transitional
in,
football.
in the new system
Mm,
where there's no longer a wing back on the left or the wing back on the right, it's there's a centre back on the left wing, or there's a centre back
mm,
on the right wing, and whenever they get beaten, they're straight at our defensive line in Sanchez, because
exactly.
a friend of mine called Tony Claw TV said to me the other day, "Oh, Wolfie, why is it that Arsenal have been managed to make something out of Raya where Chelsea are doing so poor with Sanchez? Is it all down to Sanchez, or is it something to do with all the rest of them?" I said, "No. The reason why it's something to do with the rest of them is because with Raya, he may be just as mistake prone as Sanchez." But if you have a better defensive midfield in front of him in the first place that don't allow him to be shot at, then it doesn't matter how bad your goalkeeper is because your
Exactly.
midfield and your defense will cover for him.
Yep.
Exactly.
They had the better
But then,
spine.
Wolfie, there's another point that I want to touch up on. When I said about 2 weeks ago, I would not really 2 weeks ago, about two streams ago, when I said Pep has ruined football, he has. And I'm being, in the sense of, let me tell you why. In the sense of all of these managers, they want to play like him. And the football that you mentioned with the four at the back, obviously with the centre back sometimes protecting the midfield, or this, that, and the other. What I'm so is like, the whole point is just to keep the ball. You need to keep the ball, running the show basically. Do you know what I'm saying? And then there's
Yeah,
players in
yeah.
this. There's players when you've come up as a footballer. There's players that you just don't get taught these stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some of them are just not that sort of profile. And I'll say this again. A lot of players are not this profile. Do you know what I'm saying? Hence why a lot of wingers and strikers, they're going to be less entertaining as they move forward because of tactical instruction, as to
Mm-hmm.
ones where back in the day, where you had the Neymars, the Eden Hazards, when they were under managers where you could express yourself in a way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like for example, transitional football, you need to understand that when you're playing in transition, it's about, yes, you're attacking as a unit, but then at the same time, is about your thinking and what your and about your talent in a sense. If you look at Conte's football, it allowed Willian and Hazard, Pedro, and all of them lot to showcase their talent on the board, taking on a man, shooting, etc. Do you know what I'm saying? Also, sometimes they would find Diego Costa. You know what? Diego Costa would finish it. Do you know what I'm saying? In a sense,
Mhm.
because you know you're attacking as a unit. So it's like you'll see a defender get past him. You know what I'm saying? On to the next person. You pass this, that, and the other, dang, dang, as you're running towards the opposition box. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of these wingers now, they need to express themselves more. Do you know what I'm saying? Hence why Jack Grealish went to City and we've seen such a different player. Do you know what I'm saying? Because he's been told to just stay on the wing, hold the ball. Even City fans will say, hold up the ball, try win fouls, because that's what will help them win games. Do you know what I'm saying? And sometimes also be that central point in the wing that creates. You know what I'm saying?
Ah, but you've
But
just
then
but you've just said the difference between why Eden Hazard and them lot were special above, because there's a difference between a player doing a good job in a good role, and then there's a player being a good player and just being brilliant on the ball.
Hmm.
no, but then either ways, Grealish's performances have not been good, even doing
Yeah,
that
I
as
know, but
well.
the thing is, maybe the system has restricted him because the players. Let's be honest, I
And
feel sorry for
that's
Jack.
exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. These systems restrict these sort of players. Hence why Neto has always been good in a team like Wolves because they do not play this possession football. You know what I'm saying? Since they like to I don't know which manager they had last season. I think it was Lopetegui. No, it wasn't. Wasn't it not?
No, it's Gary O'Neill, man.
Gary O'Neill. Okay, sorry, Gary O'Neill. Oh, that was the season before. Sorry. But then
I
when
mean,
he played under
he got
Gary
sacked this
O'Neill,
one. Remember?
when he played under Gary O'Neill, you see how you see how they attack sometimes. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? They would have Neto cutting in, you know what I'm saying? Providing the creativity that he can for what's his name, Cunha. If you watched our game, you know what I'm saying? He can interchange through this, that, and the other. He was never in one position. He was free roaming the wing, you know what I'm saying? As they attacked, you know what I'm saying? He could just drift inside. Sometimes and obviously he's a good striker of the ball. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, no, not all the time. Obviously, he's not really shown that at Chelsea, but back then he was a good striker of the ball. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is he had a lot of these positions where he had the ball a lot in a sense of like not in this Maresca system. It's so pedestrian football possession based, whereas Neto really doesn't get the chance to even get into the box or even try to score. Do you know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with Sancho. Do you know what I'm saying? So, in my opinion, I just feel I just feel like this football is just limiting a lot of players. And now because it's working, now it worked at City because obviously the players kind of suited what Pep was doing. But as I said, you need to have you need to have the tools to be able to do it, to execute it perfectly. Do you know what I'm saying? But not everyone is suited for that. So a manager can just come into any team and and try copy this Pep football. You know what I'm saying? And then it doesn't work, and they're just wondering why. Why doesn't it not work? You know what I'm saying? Because first and foremost, not every football player is going to be good in possession, or given a role that he has to stick to that he's not really used to. You know what I'm saying? Because they've been more
Mhm.
used to just expressing themselves in the other teams that they've been in. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Hence why Eden Hazard went to Real Madrid and he didn't do as well because obviously he had to like what's it called? I remember Zidane told him that he had a specific role for Hazard where he obviously couldn't really like take shots as often, but he was like a creator for like Benzema or Vinicius Junior. Do you know what I'm saying? He was more like a creator there. He wasn't really told to obviously like remember back in his Chelsea days, he would be allowed to dribble past players, score this, that, and the other, drift inside. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? But my point on this is like if you if you see your players just don't suit the football, possession based football that this foot that Pep's using. You don't have to just use it. You don't have to use it. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't know what you think about it, but yeah.
Can you
He
finish?
looks like he's gonna sleep, bro. Oh my
No, no,
days.
no. I'm all right. No, I'm all right. I've been listening to what you've been saying, bro. I mean, I may look like I'm asleep, but I'm listening to what you said, and I agree with what you said. And like what DJ Crane's just said in the comments as well, it's not all down to Pep sometimes because there are, and I agree with JPT just put in there as well. He said about not all managers are copycats. You look at, say, Thomas Frank, for example, at Brentford. He's very much his own manager, and they've got a very unique style where supposedly if you've got a weakness, they'll expose it very, very, very quickly. You know what I mean? Like, because look at the beginning of the season, how quickly they would score goals. Didn't they set a Premier League record for how quickly they scored a Premier League goal this year? Because they just zeroed in on something they'd worked on beforehand. So, but the problem is, I would say it's a symptom of pep virus, if you like. It's a symptom among the bigger clubs, like maybe the Arsenals, the Chelseas, the Real Madrid's a little bit because they've been up and down a bit. Barca 100% because they've
Man, you.
suffered. Man United, yes, but they've been more about winning than their football. They do like
Wait,
their
Wolfie,
attacking football.
Wolfie, DJ said I contradicted myself. The thing is this: when you said when he was talking about he ruined the managers, that's exactly what I'm saying. since we have more of these managers, do you know what I'm saying? They are ruining football in a sense. I'm not saying
Yeah.
Pep has ruined football. You're just taking it too literally. You know what I'm saying?
No, 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 no,
Obviously,
no, no. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're talking. It's just a metaphor, really. It's saying Pep ruined football because of who followed him. That's all it is.
yeah, you're not supposed to take it literally. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he's ruined the managers, but we're having more of these managers now. Do you know what I'm saying? In the sense of,
Hmm.
yeah, they've been inspired by Pep, this, that, and the other. Obviously not ruined football, but yeah,
No, no, no.
is
Well,
it
I
more?
think no, 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 no. It's more stubbornness when you say JPT. The
but
stubbornness
yeah,
of the people.
Well, that
stubbornness. Yeah,
well, that's what Maresca's big criticism was, even from Leicester fans, is he's really stubborn about his ways and his tactics. He'll die on the hill with this. I mean, we can all agree that main example Sanchez should not be our number one, but Maresca will die on that hill that he is our main goalkeeper. I was gonna say is that I don't think it's the managers. I mean, it is partially the managers, but I think it's just what a lot of clubs or a lot of these like I guess you could say for newish owners, they want that Pep clone, so they will try to look for anyone who wants to copy the Pep style because they think it will bring them success.
Yeah, you mean
yeah,
Chelsea
and
want to
that's
be
my
the next
point.
the trendsetters? You want to be the next trendsetter? Yeah, I get it.
Mm.
The brand.
And also, I've realized about these managers that they care more about the image than results.
That's what I mean.
Yeah,
The brand.
and do you know what I'm saying? In a sense of
Hmm.
it doesn't even have to be pets football. Football. The thing is, they can persist with the coaches now. They can persist with a style of play, even though it's not working, all because it looks good. They just use that football and inshallah this that and the other. Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
That's another thing about these managers, and we're having more and more and more. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Which is
yeah, I
killing
hear you.
football. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well,
Are
well,
all
no,
killing
but
teams.
no,
Do
I
you know what I'm
hear that,
saying?
but I hear that. But the thing is, I'm not being funny. Yeah, you said about the Pep clones, right? Just to go on to that side of the conversation quickly, you could argue that there's a Pep clone doing far better than this one in the Champions League with Arsenal right now. I get your analogy about the Pep clones and how they've ruined football because everybody wants to have that next brand of football. Everybody wants to be the poster boys. But when it comes down to, it also goes into what DJ Crane said about and you said as well about the individualism of the manager. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was the board right now, right, and this because I think one of the key reasons why they said they hired Maresca was they were impressed with the amount of tactical knowledge that he had of the team, the technical knowledge that he had of the players. No, no, but that's what they said, right?
I mean,
Yeah,
Now,
but it's
I don't
funny.
trust anything they really with anything that they
yeah,
say at this point. It's
well,
all
I'm not being
bullshit.
funny, right? Supposedly, right, right, because I know a lot of people have said made things about the Poch thing, and all that kind of thing. But if you actually look at it play for player and you analyze it, heart of hearts, the only person I can think of that Enzo Maresca in the entire Chelsea team has been any positive for in any way, shape, or form is Cucurella, and that's it.
Maybe
Anybody else?
Caicedo.
Nah, because
I think
sometimes
Cruella did okay on the potch.
Well, the thing is that even but Caicedo was critical of Poch's side because even he said I was just told to run around. Like it was just that was his biggest criticism. Like now, and he maybe it was for PR because then he said under Maresca, I feel like there's direction, there's some type of plan. Might not be a good plan, but it's a plan there. At this point, I think we're better off with just going without any type of blueprint plan that any of these managers or hipster managers come to Chelsea because I think it's just all for shit unless we
I
get one
also
that has a
think,
proven track record.
mm,
do you know why I think the midfield has improved a bit from Poch
right,
this
brother.
season? Because we're adding more extra bodies to the midfield now. You know what I'm saying? In a sense
But
where
have we though?
these inverted fullbacks help with that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
When we were playing on the Poch, the amount of times that we'll scream, why are we just leaving Caicedo alone? Why are we leaving Enzo alone in the six? Do you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because he just kept getting overrun. They need to
Yeah, but
be
we've done that
together.
this season though.
Huh?
We've done that this season though. The amount of times that Concedo's been isolated in his midfield by himself. Because you said about the midfield this season's better. I disagree, and the reason why I disagree is because in terms of balance, we all know, right? In terms of balance of that midfield, that when Lavia is fit, he's the one that supports Concedo and helps the midfield, and he's that anchor. And the only other person you could say was a good combination for him last season with Concedo was probably Conor Gallagher, because
Wait,
also
Wolfie, I
he.
agree that the midfield's not been as
Mm,
great. What I'm trying to say, the reason why
mhm.
people would think that the midfield looks great better than Poch
Mm,
at the times because they feel like, for example, as I said, the inverted fullback crap, but it's not. It's not really not that. In a
mm-hmm.
sense of when you said it's true because Caicedo has been isolated a lot at the back. You know what I'm saying? So like way it is like when Cucurella inverts, we've seen that Cucurella will go up the field more to try and score, coming towards. Hence why he's been getting the goals for us. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
sure.
So and then you've got Enzo as well that likes to attack, and then you got Cole Palmer doing whatever. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes he would get the ball, collect it. I don't know, recycle it and yeah, I can't even lie to you. But then the thing is this: people need to understand that most of our goals we've lost because of individual errors. Also,
Mhm.
defending has been horrible as well.
Yeah.
From Colwill, uh, Colwill, our centre backs, man, is a mess. Do you get what I'm saying? There's many reasons. Also, the fact that we've lost our goal scoring ability, we've not really been clinical. It's Jackson as well. We as people kept saying, "Oh, we can't wait for Jackson to be back," but then people need to understand this guy's not even that good. Do you know what I'm saying? Even when he was
Mhm.
injured, I was saying there will not be any difference. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe outside of the finishing, but he's not a striker. Do you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? But it is what it is. We don't really have strikers at the club like that. But yeah,
Mhm. All right.
and
Well,
it's something that the board will have to deal with.
right. Okay. Now let me ask you both this, and I'll start with JPT. Right. Out of the games that we've got left, and I know it's hard to say, but which out of the ones do you actually like? Out of the five or six that we've got left, do you actually think we got a chance of winning?
Looking at the schedule, we play Man U. Is it at the Bridge or is it
It's at
the
the bridge. It's at
OT?
the bridge. No,
Yeah,
that's at the bridge.
that's one we should win. Now, Man U
Everton's
does
at
have
the
to
bridge
turn
as
up.
well.
Same with Liverpool, and by then they've already wrapped up the league. Um, so hopefully those are three that we can get a result. I mean, yeah, the Liverpool one's just going to be out of pittiness. Like they couldn't be bothered. Man U likes to turn up against Chelsea, so even if they're on a bad form, they'll show up. And knowing our goal conceding record, it's very bleak. Uh, those are like I said, those are the three. Forest is gonna give us a good game. A difficult game, I should say, because they are also looking to compete for that final European spot, and at their ground. So and Newcastle as well. So those are the two that I'm thinking we're not gonna win. The other three, I have more optimism on. Now, again, it all depends on which Chelsea team shows up,
Hmm.
what lineup Maresca shows up. Because if I see Reece James in the midfield, I'm not gonna watch the game because I'm already gonna be tired of. Well, we're experimenting more when we need nothing but wins. I'm not trying to sound like what is it entitled or what is it spoiled Chelsea fan that like if we don't get the lineup then of course, we're gonna lose, or I'm not gonna bother. It's I just give no confidence with this manager, in what he does with his
Well,
lineup
hang
selections.
on. You said you've got no confidence with the manager now. What's changed of your opinion now of Enzo compared to what it was a few months back? Why is your opinion now? Are you against him out and out? Now, I've never actually asked you this directly, but are you against? Are you him out now? Because I know JK is, because JK said it. So,
Hmm.
how are you feeling on him now?
It's well, it's the same thing with the Potter situation, even Potter's situation. You should have never gotten the job in the first place. But it's more so like even if we get him out, the issue is still going to be evident at the club, which is we still have these owners who want these sporting directors to get them more kids, to not address the main issues, which is getting a striker, getting a top center back. And yes, we are again what I mentioned earlier. We are supposedly leading the race for that kid from Bournemouth, but we need an experienced center back paired next to him, like someone who like a real leader. There's no one in our center backs that I can point out as a true leader. Maybe Chalaba, but that's setting the bar very low. Fofana can't be a leader from the medical bed. Tosin, I don't know if he's going to be here. Batty Shield and Desassi can fuck off. Colwell is just a kid, and also he's cost us some points as well.
Colwell
So
needs to be dropped. Seriously, that guy needs to be dropped.
Guys, don't
that's another one. That's one of Maresca's players though. So as much as
guys
we
don't
want
be
Sanchez
surprised if
dropped,
we
it's gonna be Colwell still in the lineup too.
What's
don't
that,
be
JK?
don't be surprised if you're gonna get some people we called back from loan to start games from next season. I'm just saying, like
Well, there's
Petrovic,
certain guys this
Santos.
season that could have never gone out on loan. Santos, Bucci, we
Petrovic
should have kept him. Petrovic, we should have kept him.
You know,
To be,
Leslie.
to be
if it
honest,
was
Conor
Bros,
Gallagher would have looked like a good keeper right now as well. Because let's face it, as much as Lavia can make it, the guy he's had 9 starts in 2 seasons.
Even
This
Joao
guy,
Felix.
yeah,
Joe Felix as well. This is the guy when Nkuku and Jackson got injured. We could have played him in the centre, and he could have done a good job because he can score a hat trick. He's done it before, and when he got a hat trick, he got benched.
whose
What is
decision
it
was it
about?
to sell João Felix?
We didn't sell
Who,
him. We just loaned
who
him. But I don't understand
loaned
why we
him?
bought.
Like who thought Nkunku showed more than João Felix did? Exactly
Quality
in games.
wise, quality wise, and Kugel's a much better player, but he cannot be bothered at the club, and he's just waiting out his contract or waiting out for the season. Just like
Yeah,
I better be
probably.
sold this summer. Joao Felix, he's looking for a club to play for because he's being tossed around left and right.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah,
Notice JPT. Maresca says that Maresca says, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know if this club is. I don't know if these group of players are ready for top four in the next 3 years."
oh, we're not
The
even ready for
reason
top
why,
five.
no, or top five, exactly. The reason why he says that, because he wants these players to be embedded into his system by then. Do you know what I'm saying? He knows that they're not good now, and he's probably saying, "Oh, it will take 3 years for
yeah, but I
these
don't
players to be
understand you.
this,
But I
to
understand if
be
you're trying
this."
to buy confidence, why you would kill their confidence by telling them they can't do something.
Exactly, they can't do what they want him to do, so that's why he says, "Oh, 3 years,"
We're waiting to
because he
hear
thinks
times
by
from Mudrick. No idea about him.
yeah. But you get
That's
what I'm
another player
saying?
too.
It's really really stupid. You know what I'm saying? And also another thing, you also wanted to ask about the next 6 games. If I was to divert from the manager, I think we just need to hope and pray that we can get results in these last 6 games.
But do
Our
you think
last
any of them
five,
are
I should say.
winnable? Everton at home's got to be winnable, innit? Come on, like,
I don't even
Everton at
say
home's
that's
winnable.
winnable.
Is winnable.
I'm
Maybe we can win. Maybe we cannot. But for the worst, I can just see us drawing that game stupidly.
yeah, same.
Um, we can and what's gonna happen? Man, and then there will be Liverpool. I think Liverpool will just have to beat Spurs to confirm the title. So
They just have to
I
draw.
know they're gonna beat Spurs, huh?
They just have to draw after today because Arsenal dropped points.
Yeah, because
If
Arsenal dropped points.
if they draw versus Spurs at Anfield, it's done.
Yeah, then
They're
it's
gonna want
done.
to
Yeah,
win.
and
They
then
want to.
then
That's
they'll
gonna be a crazy party there. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and then what's gonna happen is that they'll probably turn up. I should say, quote unquote, drunk against on against us probably. We would be expected to win. I guess, but I don't know. I think what would I like to see, which will be realistic. Let's say we get 3 points against Everton. That's what I'd like to see. 3 points against Everton. Maybe take a point off Liverpool at Stamford Bridge. Um,
I know it's hard.
um,
It's hard.
take a point at St James's Park and
Oh,
hope.
God, no, I
You see what
don't
I'm
see
trying to
that
say?
happening.
Let me just say. Let me tell you why. Liverpool, Newcastle, and then we had to rely on everyone else to drop points because they're all playing each other. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And then Man United win that game. They've been horrible. Win that game. I don't care what anybody says. Man United at home should be a win.
They're there for
Funny
the
enough,
taking.
yeah, when I said that we'll lose to Man United, I think I was over exaggerating in a sense of, you know what, I really don't see us losing. And I don't see them getting something with the way they've been playing. Do you know what I'm saying? But then I can back us more to actually win that game,
Yeah.
rather than Man United. Because
We're
they
not
look
as quite
shocking.
as bad as them yet. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, yeah, because they look shocking. When they attack, they've been rubbish. Like completely bad. Awful. And the goalkeeper's bad as well. Do you know what I'm saying? So with the chances that we can create, I think there's a chance we can get like two goals. Basically, a similar game to the way we beat Spurs. You know what I'm saying? This season, I can just see a Spurs game like that. And then
Hey, Dan,
also,
careful, bro. Don't be talking about Chelsea like that. Remember what happened last game, bro? You almost broke your headset. Calm down, man. Nah, I'm joking.
I'm just saying what I would like to see if it was
Yeah,
game
yeah, I
week.
know, I
You know
know.
what I'm saying? But then man said North London forever. Listen, what does that even mean?
No, I think he's just making reference to what happened to Gal.
What does that even mean?
Why did he Gal do that, by the way? Just out of curiosity, why did he do that?
Oh
He,
my
it
days.
was a Chelsea song. I was just like,
DJ,
why is this clown doing it?
unfortunately, I'm most likely gonna win a trophy before you this season. So yeah, if you're an Arsenal fan, so I'd be quiet. But
JK.
anyways,
Before you go, just wanted to say because I was looking at to see Everton's recent results, and
Mhm.
before the Man City loss, they only lost one other time since January, I think 21st, and that was against Liverpool at Anfield 1-0. Besides that, they drew against West Ham, they drew against Wolves, they drew against Brentford, they drew against Man
You know
United.
how to draw
They
games. Yeah, that's the thing.
they beat Crystal Palace, they drew against Liverpool at Goodison, they beat Leicester, they beat Brighton, they beat Spurs, who hasn't, and then the last loss before that, the last the last
Look,
loss
look,
before
look,
that
he's trying to
was
act calm like he didn't drop a dig in there. Look.
the last loss was against Villa on January 15th or 15th of January, whatever you want to call it. But you know, so they know how to take points away from clubs. So I don't want to say that they're a guarantee win. I know you said that most likely it's a draw. That's why I see it too because watch Beto score an equalizer at the last minute.
Well, I'm going to say now we're going to lose that Forest game away, though. With the way we defend, we're going to lose that one.
I don't know about that game. I don't know about Forest away.
Oh, come on, man. They're going to be on it, bro, because
No,
they're
but
fighting for
no, but
Europe just
Wolfie,
like we
come on,
are.
Forest are beatable. Forest are
Bro,
very
half the teams
beatable,
we face are beatable, but we still lose. Like, you know what I mean?
and that's the problem. Do you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
yeah,
of course. Yeah,
um,
I'm not being funny. I would love to see the tactics that even the current style that Enzo plays. Right, I'd even like him to see that 10 yards back instead of starting palming them like all the way up the top of the pitch. Maybe drop them back to the halfway line. So when we're trying to play out from the back, we've actually got attacking options there with the ball carrier. You know what I mean?
mm,
Because unfortunately, the thing is, right, when you look at it, when we do actually score goals, we're better suited for the counter attack.
yeah, we are
So
way better suited. You know what I'm saying? Even the
Even
players that we have.
look at the second goal, by the way. The second goal against Fulham was brilliant, by the way, because it was all one time, but it was all from the
Yeah,
counter.
and it was route one. Chelsea, this team will be suited for route one football. It doesn't even need to be sit back. Just make sure it's route one. Do you know what I'm saying? These wingers will score more goals that way. We'll probably be scoring more goals that way as well. So yeah, it's route one football. Route one football is the way for Chelsea for me. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And with these group of players, none of this stupid possession crap. But yeah,
mm. Well, yeah, just on the Everton game because that's on Saturday. Saturday at 12:30, isn't it? So
I don't
JPT,
know.
you two, are you two free for a watch along then?
I am not. I'm gonna be in New York for the weekend.
Going to New York. What part you
See,
guys in?
DJ Crane. Oh my gosh, you funny guy. Listen,
Forest are
listen.
being beatable. You
Chelsea
can
fans.
Spaghetti.
Chelsea fans
What
were
the hell
never.
are you
Listen,
on, bro?
Chelsea
All
fans
right.
are not that. Chelsea fans are not that. We're not begs. Respectfully, we don't paint our face blue for anyone, red for anyone. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. That's only Gal. And if I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest, there's
yeah,
a
that
hundred.
is weird, bro. That is weird. Hey, I see the video and I still don't know why he did that.
I don't know why
Did
he
he
did
make a
that.
bet with someone
What
and he lost?
Yeah,
No,
that's
he
what
he lost
painted
Arsenal
it.
his
fans
face
are
blue?
about. They just do the
Bro, he
most.
was dressed in blue paint, body paint, and he had to sing "Blue is the color, football is the game."
And you
The
have to
song that
sing
plays
that.
out.
Imagine when we've just won the
Just
Champions League. Who
cause.
does that? You know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you this. Listen, DJ Crane, you win the
Don't know
Champions
what he
League, we
did.
still got more than you, anyways. So it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
No, no, no,
Did you
no,
see
no.
the Did you see the thing?
Even if they win one, they got three, we got eight, so they got catching up to do.
Either
Yeah.
way, it's current champions with. But it was funny to see the whole thing with the Pope, R.I.P. That every time that the Pope dies, an English club wins the Champions League. They're the only champ. They're the only.
Oh no! Oh, it's the fuck? Who said that?
I saw it online. It said 2012. I forgot. They all sound the same to me, if I'm gonna be honest. But yeah, 2012 the Pope died. 2021 or 22 the
Yeah,
Pope
yeah, yeah.
died. We won it.
Mm.
Now this Pope died.
The DJ Quinn mentioned Astrid Wet, Astrid Wet and Sophie Rose. Listen,
Oh God.
If those are your Chelsea standout influences, then man, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're doing.
No, look, I know, JK. I'm taking the piss. I wish this club was what you had.
Yeah,
He's
man.
pleasing. I think with the smiley faces, you can tell that he's just fucking with you. That's all. He's just putting it
Of
away.
course,
That's
man.
what this
Astrid Wet and
Ukrainians
Sophie
does.
Rose. Come on, man.
And he's drunk. He did say earlier that he was drunk. So, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, look who
yeah.
it is. It's Notorious. Where is he?
Oh shit. There he is.
Oh, there's an empty screen.
Hey, good night, Stepsy.
Optimus
Have a good night,
Prime.
man.
Big
Big
up.
up.
Night, Pepsi.
There he is.
There he is. Notorious. Big up.
Optimus Prime.
what,
Come on.
what you saying, Anonymous? Big up, brother. What you been on? What's your thoughts and feelings? What you've seen over the last couple of weeks? The loss to Fulham, the loss at home to Lecce, the draw to Ipswich. Lay it on me, man. What you got?
Well, we beat Fulham. The Legia loss, again, I don't think that's a big deal because we were winning 3-0 anyway from the first leg. I didn't watch the second leg, so I don't care about that one. What else?
I was like, right. What do you think was going to happen with the league and with the running? Because obviously we got a few big games. We've got Forest, Everton, all them lot.
We'll make Champions League football.
Why is that? What conviction? Where do
I
you think
wish I
we're
was
going to
as
get the point?
confident as you, Prime.
Me too,
Because-
bro. Like, where do you think we're going to get the points? Because that's why I asked the boys. And I'm going to ask you the same thing. Where do you think we're going to get the points from?
Not necessarily just about us getting points. Everyone else around us is not consistent anyway. So
Okay, then. All
just
right, then, but yeah, I get that. So who do you think we can beat then? Because I think Everton, definitely. Man United at home, definitely. We could definitely win those games.
Just
you know
by
what I mean?
fact of no one else around us is consistent. Like we'll just end up getting Champions League football. I'm not saying that's a great thing or whatever, but like it's just the fact of what it is. Like this, we're not consistent or anything, fine, but the rest of the teams around us aren't consistent either. So we'll end up getting.
All right, so who do you think the top five will be then?
In whatever order, but Forest, City, Chelsea will be third, fourth, fifth in whatever order.
Then Arsenal, Liverpool. Fair enough. All right. And you don't. What if we don't make it? And I'll ask you this the same thing as well, like I asked the boys earlier as well. Do you think if we were to get in Champions League football, do you think we'd even get past the league phase?
Depending on what additions we make to the squad.
But what about as they are now?
As it currently stands,
it'd be hard, isn't it?
I don't know. I don't know because it depends on who we end up facing. It knows who. We probably not top 8. No, if that's what you mean. But if you mean get out of be in the playoffs, we probably could be because it depends on who we'd end up facing.
That's true. Oh dear, man.
We could end up getting what Villa had, where they didn't really face any big team in the league phase, or we could do what Arsenal did, where they had to face what PSG and Inter Milan. So who knows?
Well, okay. If with the Chelsea team it is, because I know you said about additions, but what's the maximum they could do? Well, I'll ask the boys this as well after you. But what's the maximum they could do?
What do you mean the maximum?
What's the maximum we could expect from them? Just get out of the groups or the league phase as it is now. Just get out of the league phase and call it an achievement.
Oh, you mean being in the Champions League next year?
Yeah. Well, if we were to be in it, what would be a successful margin for if we were to get in it, boys? Because that's another way of looking at it. Because I'm not gonna. I did say a minute ago about what if we went out of the groups there or the league phase now, and would that be seen as an embarrassment? But realistically, for this group of players as they are now, what would be a realistic target if we did get into the Champions League?
round of 16 or quarters, depending on who you face.
Fair enough. JPT?
I would say yeah, round of 16. And we get there by playoffs. We're not gonna get in the top 8, securing a spot.
Well, yeah. Well, JK, you said a minute ago, not even top 8. Is that your definite answer, or
Yeah,
do you reckon?
the top 8 is guaranteed round of 16. But like I'm talking,
Yeah.
we'll finish in the playoff round basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Mm,
we'll be
right.
lucky to be there because I feel like we'll be lingering around 20 something if we had this squad.
Maybe. But again,
In my
this
opinion.
squad needs
But yeah.
like improvements anyway in the summer. But
A
Oh,
lot of
yeah, of
whether
course.
we'll make adequate improvements needed is
You know, that's the question, isn't it? Because whether we sign the right players for the right
And that's
positions,
and that's
we
the
will
whole
be
point.
screaming
You
that
know what I'm
for.
saying? Really. But if we were to sign the players, let's say we all sign the players that we want. You know what I'm saying?
also it
Imagine
depends on what manager as well, because like
yeah, thank
Maresca's
you.
not going to be here long. But
Right,
then this
Prime.
same
I'm
sporting
glad
director
that Prime
will be
actually
here.
agrees with this because I genuinely I'm
What?
not confident with Maresca going into next season.
No, it's not about being confident with Maresca or not being confident with him. I don't think he's going to be. If we don't, like, I still believe we will get Champions League football. But if we don't
Mm.
get Champions League football and then we don't have a good showing in that Club World Cup, they'll sack him.
Hmm.
Which
Yeah.
fine, that'll probably make like you guys happy and the Chelsea fans happy. But for me, these sporting directors will still be here, so
Yeah,
I'll be
but
annoyed.
I wouldn't be
Yeah,
happy
of
with him sack.
course.
I wouldn't be happy with him sack, bro. I'd be disappointed because it's another season where we've gone down the toilet. I'm not
But
I
we all
happy.
know
I
that
okay.
You
Maresca
know
is
what I
not
mean?
that
I'm
overall.
not
I just
against the man personally. I just want what's best in my club. That's it.
that's
I
fine.
wouldn't be happy with
I'm
the
not
sack.
talking about you personally. That's fine. Let me.
No, I'm just saying my own personal opinion. I'm not saying you are saying that. I'd be quite gutted for him actually, because it'd just be one more season we have to hit the reset button, and it's a load of wasted potential
Okay.
if he doesn't achieve nothing.
Okay.
So you know, that's by the way.
Okay. I don't think it would have to be a reset anyway if we're getting rid of him, but that's another different point.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we don't, that's why when people keep getting bogged down on this manager or Wenger or Poch, I don't care.
You got me.
Being consistent and saying I want these sporting directors gone. People focusing on Maresca, they'll skate if we don't get Champions League football and we don't do well in that Club World Cup. They'll do what people want. Maresca will be gone. He'll be the scapegoat. We'll bring in another guy, and then in a few months' time, people will be having the same discussions of, oh, this guy's not better than Maresca, or we haven't really moved forward. And I'll be here saying, well, I told you guys this last season about people wanting to do manager debates. I'm sick of manager debates.
No, it's not a manager
agree.
debate because he's here.
You know, I
We've got
agree.
no choice at this moment in time. So for me, it's not a manager debate. Go on, JK. Sorry.
Yeah, I think everybody knows
we
the
do,
sporting
because when
directors.
people wanted to do that bullshit protest with no real cohesion and
I weren't
idea,
there.
I wasn't there.
yeah, I know, but again, like, remember I told people this protest is like pointless unless people
Okay.
have a real plan or idea. And after the protest, no one's going to continue it forward. But like, people just wanted to argue with me about it.
Well, that wasn't us, but I hear
That
you.
wasn't us, man.
I'm not talking about you guys. I'm just.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
I know that, but I'm hearing this for the first time. You see, because I'm not privy. I wasn't there when you had to. I know that when you go and give your, because you're on a lot of channels. When you give your channel, people
No.
get
I
your
spoke
opinion.
about this
People
here at the time.
Oh, all right then. Because
Yeah.
but with me, I always hoped that Enzo could actually do the job. And I'm not being funny. The early signs were quite good, but but I also I've had a discussion with other people that might have been the fact of he's just taken what Poch has done and taken 2 steps back, really, for me. Because I'll ask you this, right? Other than Kukurea, who has actually genuinely benefited from Enzo? Well, let's try and be positive about this.
I disagree that he just took what Poch had, but okay. Who's improved with Enzo? Enzo Maresca. Enzo Fernandez has improved massively. Caicedo has improved. Cucurella has improved.
Okay,
That's
so
just about it.
yeah. So who's he made worse?
Reece James has improved. Reece James has improved being able to play in midfield.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
Gusto. Wait, what?
No, but you said about Reece James can't play in midfield. We spoke about that a little bit earlier on. Well, don't say what you were saying.
Okay, I don't know. Gusto has Crystal has regressed from his first season, to be fair.
He got to the
Palmer's
did.
just Palmer's just been. I don't know what's going on with him. At first, I thought with Palmer and Jackson, that's them being burnt out. But even after this injury, I just have no idea what's going on with them because the system is getting them into goal scoring opportunities, but they're not taking it themselves. Yeah, well, Jackson's never been a great finisher anyway. But Palmer, I just don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's just having second season syndrome, which happens with players. So we'll see what he's like next season. And even with Gusto himself as well, we'll see what happens next season with him. Madueke has improved under Maresca. Neto is having a poor first season, but I think if we had signed an actual striker, we'd be seeing how good Neto actually is.
And Sancho as well.
Sancho again, he also needs a striker with him to see how good he actually is. And our defenders, even though I don't rate our defenders individually, we still have one of the best defenses in the league statistically. So things keep showing me that the system itself is actually working because we're creating chances due to the system. We're not putting them away due to our forwards. Our defense, our structure is fine, but we're conceding goals because a lot of it is due to just bullshit errors from Sanchez, or Cole will fall asleep, or Chalobah can't win a header, or like Tosin will do whatever and stuff like that. So it just tells me you need better individuals, not just necessarily just the system. Now, there have also been mistakes Maresca himself has made. But again, like I keep telling people, when we went on that run back in December, January, what do you expect with a manager that's had one season of management from the championship? And that's not a disrespect to Maresca because I think he's a talented coach and he will be I think he can be a very good to great manager in the future. But at Chelsea, you shouldn't be here learning. So that's why when we were going through stuff, I told people, what do you actually expect? That's why I wasn't angry. My energy was focused towards the sporting directors, but people still wanted to talk about Maresca should go. He doesn't know anything. He's not good. That's fine. If Maresca goes, the next guy we bring in will be like a Scott Parker or a Thomas Frank or an Iraola, and they're not going to improve much either at Chelsea. Things won't improve because we'll have and we'll have like the lap up top for us or whatever. And we'll have Huijsen, who's a talent, but he's like 18, 19. And we're going to be building off of youngsters again. And we'll start well and then fade off like what happens with young players and a young manager. And then people will be sitting here saying, oh, McKenna's a fraud. He's no good. Well, again, what do you expect with a young manager? Young players, our only experience, quote unquote, are not good, like Sanchez. What do you expect? It's a recipe for disaster. And that's why I keep going at the sporting directors because they put this squad together. I've been talking about our squad building since this here. I've been JBT knows because I've been talking about this the squad building. I didn't want Enzo Fernandez at this club. Spending over 100 mil for a guy who had 6 months at Benfica and a little World Cup stint, that to me didn't make sense. But people hyped it up. People hyped up the Mudryk signing because we got one over Arsenal. People hyped up João Felix when we got him on loan and when we bought him last summer. People hyped up Nkunku 2 summers ago, and I told people this guy will flop. Fans of this will hype up like the mediocrity and then be surprised why it doesn't really pan out. Right. When we did last summer, and then Jackson went on the goal scoring form, people were saying that, Bun, Osimhen, Jackson's clear. Okay, well now we're truly seeing who's clear. Osimhen has
no one here said that. Yeah, no one here said that. Definitely 100% no one here said that.
Osimhen has 30 goals this season. And again, I like Jackson, but like he's just not that clinical goal scorer that we need. And not having a focal point striker is showing because our wingers, who I don't really rate our wingers in Sancho, Neto, and Madueke, but I do know if we had a focal point striker, they would be performing a lot better. If we had Osimhen, people would be saying that Neto is one of the best wingers in this league because Neto's attributes would actually be used. Because Neto is a brilliant crosser of the ball, but we have no one in the box to be able to cross to on a consistent basis. If we had someone like Osimhen or Samuel Rodion, who I was actually for us signing as a choice of if we couldn't get an Osimhen, and I went on Lewis's stream, for example, and people there were just shitting on the idea because, oh, he has no first touch, but his fundamentals of goal scoring is absolutely there. He's knows how to sniff chances in the box.
Like, yeah, if you're a first time finish, you don't need a first time touch. Just finish.
We'll see in the summer if we actually make the adequate signings to like improve, because what we saw up until like mid-December when we fell off, when we had players fit, if we had signed a quality centre back, so we didn't have to rely on Fofana, if we had kept Leslie in the team, like I said in the summer, so we won't have to rely on Lavia. If we had bought an actual striker, so we don't have to rely on Jackson. If we had kept Petrovic, like I said, instead of having Sanchez, maybe we could have kept pace a little longer in this supposed title race. Because when people got angry at Maresca for saying we're not in a title race, well, he's right, because squad is not good enough to challenge for anything. That's why I kept telling people we're not in a title race. It wasn't about doing chill guy gimmick. It's about saying squad's not good enough, bro. It's just about good enough to challenge for and get top 4. It's not good enough to. But the thing is, we're also not that far away, because what we saw up until December, if we had signed the right pieces for the team, we maybe could have prolonged the title race, quote unquote, a little longer, or we'd at least be very comfortable in this top 4. We'd be comfortable in this top 4. And it's so annoying, so close, but these sporting directors don't do anything adequately, which means we're so far away. And that then goes. I know I'm talking a lot, but just sorry. That
I'm trying to be PT.
That then goes above to these owners, because you've put these sporting directors in place, but we're just going to keep scapegoating manager. Like I hate Pochettino, but even still, I said last year that fine, you get rid of him, your next appointment now has to work. Which is why I'm also not on the neck of Maresca, because what did I not say that, JPT? Remember, I said
right.
The next has to work, and that's why I'm not on his neck of Maresca, because I'm expecting this. So I want a better guy now. I want a better manager. I also want better sporting directors. I want Luis Campos. If you get me Campos, let him find the next manager. And if he tells me Maresca's good enough, or he tells me this guy's good or that guy's good, I'll back it. I trust Campos. I'm done speaking. Sorry.
I just that we're veering way off topic. So I hear you. Thank you for what you said about the top 4 thing. I get that, and I get what you're saying about Maresca. And we've all, as JK said, as JPT's mentioned, I've mentioned, you've mentioned, Tyrone's mentioned, we've all spoken about the board mistakes. That's by the by, but essentially right now, we've got to work with what I've got. Now I'm going to ask TT the same question. Big up. I did send you, let me ask you a quick question, TT. Is your Instagram for your Chelsea Sessions account still frozen? Because I sent the link to your Chelsea Sessions account.
You know the funny thing is, I got the notification link. When I clicked on it, I didn't see any link at all. I don't know I don't know why. The only link I saw was the link that I sent to you when I'd done the stream after the Ligia Warsaw. But I didn't see the link.
I'll send it to both next time. I'll send it to both.
That's fine, because I was gonna message you and say something about what time it would be, but anyways, that's the other point.
Yeah, that wasn't there either when I brung the screen down and I went to it and it wasn't there anymore. Yeah, I had the same thing happen. Maybe there was an Instagram problem, network. Maybe.
Yeah, because now I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it right now. I'm on the Chelsea Sessions when I'm seeing it right now. That you sent it 4 hours ago. So I don't know, because I got the notification though.
Don't matter. So what's your feelings on this top 4, Jazz? Do you think, with the fixtures we've got left, with the teams we've got to play, where we've got to play, do you think we've got a chance of making top 4? Do you think that's all she wrote, or 5 now? Or do you think that's all she wrote? Do you think we're destined for Europa League football?
I think we are. I've said that, and well, in all honesty, I'm going to be honest. I didn't expect Chelsea to come back against Fulham in that fashion, but and well, I know it's been controversial as to if Maresca should get credit for what happened in that second half. I'm still undecided because I've rewatched that, and that was not how Maresca played. So I'm wondering if he just told him to just go out there and do something, because there was none of the goals that were scored came from the pattern of play that he wants the team to use. So, or he could have a plan B. I don't know. I'm trying to be optimistic with him, but at this point. I cannot, because he himself came out and said that he has only one way of playing and that he's learning, and this is a learning process for him. So I highly doubt that. So in terms of if it was actually him, no, but I just don't see it. I still see Chelsea dropping points where they shouldn't. And one of the reasons is that I'm seeing a lot of teams drop points or lose or draw. And knowing Chelsea of old and new, or when I say old in terms of the last 5 years before, even just before these owners came in, that they have not been able to realistically step up when they need to step up. And that is why there's that level of inconsistency. So losing to Ipswich, then winning against Fulham barely by the skinning of the teeth, it's just not convincing to me. That performance did not convince me. It was still a horrible performance, and it's literally the exact same thing over and over again. So I don't see Chelsea getting top four. I generally think that they're destined for Europa League, because they don't play in a way where they convince me. They have to play Liverpool. Everton is not going to be a walk. Well, I don't expect it to be a walk in the park. So I just don't see it. I think Europa League is just where it's going to be, and realistically, I think that's where it should be, because this team and even the players that we're supposedly looking to sign, I don't think they would be good enough to really give you that chance to contest in the Champions League, because it makes no sense being in the Champions League if you're not going to be contesting, because the more you go in the knockout stage, the more it will benefit you financially. So realistically, I don't see Chelsea passing the round of 16 if they were to go into the Champions League. That's it. So I think Europa League is where they should be, built from the bottom going up, especially if the model is this way. I wish it wasn't, but at the end of the day, I understand other clubs are buying young, so it's a case of evolving and building a new project. But the way that they've gone about it, as you guys were probably discussing to some extent about the decisions in terms of sporting directors and all that, it's not. It has been sustainable, and it's been 3 years now, or almost 3 years, and it's still not convincing. So that's just my thought.
Well, okay. On the games, I asked the boys this, and I think I've asked JPT as well, and I'll ask him again just in case. But I asked Prime this, and I asked JK this. I'll ask you this. Out of those games we've got left, what games are winnable for you?
Uh, damn. In terms of damn. This is, I generally don't. I'm trying to. Okay, look at this. The fixtures. Everton.
Yeah.
Is, as I said, Everton. It's.
Then we got Man United after that, anyway. Then Liverpool. No, is it Liverpool after Man U?
Yeah, Liverpool on the 4th of May. Man United is the 16th. Liverpool is definitely not going to be a win. I definitely don't see that. It'd have to be some sort of tactical masterclass to let that happen. No, that's going to happen. I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm just so anti-Maresca now, that I'm just thinking this way. Probably there's some bias. But looking at these fixtures, I generally don't see realistically a case for Chelsea winning, unless there's some level of stepping up from the players that have been performing. So I don't know. Everton, I think, is going to be a draw. Liverpool, I definitely think that would be a loss, because I generally don't see any sort of progression to convince me that what we saw in the Pochettino are not being the greatest. Will take that form again. I just don't see it, because the way it plays, it's very. It stifles the squad. It restricts a lot of players that actually can do a lot more than what they're doing now. So I'm not sure.
Do you think Enzo's tactics actually limit the players? Fair enough. Is that what you're saying? Enzo's tactics limit the players, TT. Is that what you're saying? I know he's muted again, but yeah, hang on, wait a minute.
I think he's frozen.
I have to go. Wifey calling. Big up, you guys. All right, JPT. Well, look. Just before you go, JPT, right? Just quickly before you go, where do you see us picking up points, if any? Because I think I asked the boys this, and I'll ask you this as well, just in case I have it.
Funny enough, I think we'll get a result versus Liverpool because, like I said, they've already wrapped up the league. I think we'll get a point versus Everton, even though that's a game we should win. Like I said, they tend to like to draw against teams. I think we lose against Newcastle at St. James. Uh, we should beat Man U. Hopefully they don't turn up against us as they usually do, or we give them an easy goal because we should have beat them at Old Trafford, or where the hell we played them last time. It wasn't for Fofana and Sanchez. And then Forest, that one was gonna be tough to call because at their ground, final game of the season, depending where they are at and where we are at by then, that game's gonna feel like a final almost.
I hear you. I hear you. I think the home games are winnable, but the rest, forget it. Because we're not going
Funny
to win at
enough,
St James's Park. Go on,
funny,
go on, okay.
funny enough, guys, we don't really lose a lot of home games. We've only lost about like two, Fulham and Man City. Other than that,
True.
our
First,
disappointing home games have just been draws, really.
Well, the
If
thing
I'm
is,
gonna,
yeah, we all could probably, me, you, Prime, JK, everyone, like we could all probably sit there and just hammer home the point of we never really do well against the big teams this year, and that's pretty much who we've got left. That's the only, like,
the
I'd
thing
say,
is,
potentially nail in the coffin, you know.
the only thing that could save us now, I think, is more of, I don't know, um, cause, cause me personally, you know, I think about the manager, and obviously, what Prime was saying about the sporting directors, I absolutely agree. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is
Mm,
why I've always mentioned about, you know what, before anything, just sack the sporting directors. Because you know when if this manager was to go,
mm-hmm.
I don't rely on anyone to get a new one. But yeah, that's another topic. But yeah,
Well, yeah, time will
I
tell.
just it's the same thing with Ty. I feel anti Maresca in the sense of I don't see us
Well, the thing is,
getting
I
top
will say
four,
this, yeah, but we've also got the thing is with
maybe
Enzo.
top five. But yeah,
I feel sorry for him because he was never given a complete team to work with in the first place. Like Prime was mentioning,
yeah,
we don't have no DM cover. We don't have a striker that can finish goals. Our wingers look terrible because we don't have a real attacking focal point.
and
Something that we've
also
all said, you know what I mean? Like, well,
we didn't give him the experience necessary for him like for those players to look up to. Do you know what I'm saying on the pitch?
he
It's
hasn't
all well
got
and
that
good having a
experience
manager,
himself. Because normally you would
but if
expect
they
them to look
have,
at the manager.
young players all can't just play all together. Sometimes they need someone in that pitch to look up to. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm saying? And we have none of that. No leader. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's
True.
another thing. But
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
it is what it is. I think we just have to we just have to rely on adrenaline really to get us
try
wins.
and get over the line. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's like you know the Fulham last 5-10 minutes like that. We need to be playing like this more,
Or
in my
put it this way,
opinion.
I'd rather see more of what we saw against Fulham in the last 30 than I saw in the first 60.
Yeah, we need
Whew.
more of that adrenaline. We need adrenaline. You know what I'm
We've gone
saying?
back to
That's all
doing that
this.
thing that pick up slowly again. Maybe started slowly at the beginning of the season and then picked up. Maybe with any luck, it might be the process repeating itself, and we're picking up slowly, and then
Yeah,
right at the end we get up.
that's
But that's
specifically for the big
optimism,
games.
you know.
Yeah, so that's specifically for the big games. So let's just try and just go for it. Like
Mm-hmm.
just give your all. If you lose, it is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, although I've had a dig at this manager, but at the same time, it's not entirely his fault. And plus, sacking him won't
Not
really
good.
change anything unless the sporting directors are here and the owners are still running. But yeah, that they're gonna be here for like the next year. But it is what it is.
It is.
Yeah, but yeah,
Prime,
thanks for the stream.
no worries, brother. All right, Prime, any last words before
Big ups,
we bounce,
Prime.
brother? It's gonna be good to see you as well, man. All right. What you playing there, brother? He's not paying
What?
attention now. I bet he's in FC25 right now, bro. He's in the Champions League final somewhere against Arsenal.
No,
Any
no, I
final?
was just on Twitter.
Oh, okay. Any final thoughts to share before we split, bro? Good to see you again, by the way.
Yeah. I've been around. I just haven't been getting the links.
I have. You've muted me on Instagram or something, bro, because I've been sending them. I've been saying to them, check.
Chelsea fans, don't stop worrying. We'll make Champions League football. Now, what happens after that, who knows? But we'll make
yeah, that roller coaster of being a Chelsea fan. But anyway, look, we'll round it off there. We're out of here. Big up to Prime, Deals, everybody that's been in the chat. Rosie, big up as well. It's gone way past me, coming up near 2 o'clock, so everyone's split. But yeah, there she is. Don't forget to subscribe to Rosie as well. Big up the Blue Sister in the background, the Rangers fan. Never forget her. DJ Crane, everybody else. Trip Vic, Eric the Red. It was here a little while ago. Dimes, Mel, Stepsy, DJ Crane, Donna. Everybody that's been here, man. Big up to you lot, and much love to you all. I'll see you next stream, and we are out. And big up to Prime as well. JK, obviously JPT split because his wife was calling, and obviously big up to TT as well. But anyway, people, we are out of here. Peace.